Hi Kolo.
Sasa
Kwa sana karibu sana kwa live.
leo nimeingia mapema.
Nimeona leo hakuna game.
Leo kuna game bwana. Queen anaitwa nani? Queen
Ule
wetu
ule ule Eliza.
ame
Eliza
tunamsherekea manze. Tunamsherekea, amekuwa promoted, so pia tunampatia heshima zake. At least hii wiki watu watulie, tuone vitu zingine. At least akishakuwa late to rest, then other things will continue.
So welcome to today's Sunday live chat Unscripted. Na leo tunaongelea mambo ya men and heartbreaks. Or how men process heartbreaks. So okay, yeah, can you give me okay, number one kwanza, unajua kuna vitu zingine we have to start from the beginning. Do men suffer heartbreaks? Okay, how as in how, like just saa zingine unaambiwa gonyi wanaume hamnaga feelings sijui nini, hebu to explain it, like how this thing might happen that mwanaume apatane na hii heartbreak.
So first of all, one thing I can attest to is the fact that every breakup yes, is terrible. It's always terrible, but unavoidable. Yes. You cannot. It's an experience yenye kuna mtu anaweza taka ku go through. It does not really matter whether the relationship ended on a very good term or on bad terms. Nor does it even make such a difference kama the person was the one who was calling the shots, yeye ndiye alisema tuache nini, or the one mwenye alikuwa dump. Like hizi vitu zote huwa zimati. Breakup inakuanga na one effect yenye inafanya kwa maisha ya mtu, whether dem ama chali. Kuna kuanga na ile loss of connection ya the world. Kuna kitu tu inarudi na katika, you feel like uko peke yako, hauko kwa world yenye watu wanaishi, and it's always one of the worst experiences that anyone can go through, both them ama chali. And then breakups sana zinakuanga very hard on men, if you don't know, and not in ways that people would expect, because men don't speak about what they go through. Ladies do, but men don't. So it is even hard on them. The fact that they keep quiet, it doesn't mean that our feel kitu, but in our woman. Yeah, so I would say that men also suffer breakup, and it's never one of the best things that should happen to any human being.
Yeah, watu nasemaga anything that has a beginning must always have an end. Like something has to end. Haijalishi how good it was, haijalishi how you know, even if for example now you and I are married.
Yeah.
So our end it can end two ways. It can end by divorce or separation or by death, but it will end. Somehow it will end. So this notion that men don't feel anything, especially to my heartbreak, and I like the fact that we may bring up that we rarely speak as men. Yeah. And whenever we speak, sisi huwa tunachongolewa, we get made fun of. Like okay, huko umewachwa, wewe si wa kwanza. Okay, umewachwa, so to do umewachwa, kwani hiyo tu ndio dem peke yake? As in just by the virtue of you speaking, ina cause more issues because people are not even taking you seriously. Yeah. So what are some of the things that will show you a man is going through a heartbreak?
Well, kwanza kitu ya kwanza, you see, there's this thing about men. This is probably out of context, but it's the reality. Men might wanaweza kuwa mabeshte kama watu 20 but hawajuani hata majina. That is how so I don't know, like it is just the men thing. We are together but tunasikianga ni aje buda, that is the friendship we have. But once something happens to you, like a breakup in your private life, even that Buddha thing ceases. You no longer just call ni aje buda, because now this is the reality that has dawned on you. Nani kati ya watu nani unaweza ukashare na yeye? So number one, we always now become shocked in everything that we are doing. Tuko tu una watch, you rarely speak. Akili yako
Yes.
bado ina register what has happened. So because for men we don't tuwezi tuka solve hii kitu within a day. It takes a lot of time to register in our minds, to start coming to terms with what is happening and see, was I the one who was on the wrong ama mtu mwingine? So with all these questions you end up gazing in the air. Mara watu napiga story, you rarely changia, huongei.
Yeah.
Traditionally, even the society encourages women to talk about their relationships with one another, while men are encouraged to man up. So ukienda hata kwa mabeshte, you have to show that niko poa. These are the statements we say, but rarely are we okay. Huwa tunasema niko poa. Once mtu amesema ako poa, there's always something about it. That is number 2. Number 3, una feel ego yako imeteremshwa chini mpaka vitu ulikuwa umezoea kufanyia hata mabeshte you no longer do, you rarely call watu waweze kuja kukuvisit, upigie watu simu, mali mko mnaenda kumeet, you rarely go there. Life yako imekuwa decentralized to this kind of feeling that now I'm alone, and that is why you'll find men within a very short time utasikia ati hook up na mtu, aja hook up na dem mwingine ati juu amekusahau, ana hook up juu anataka kutafuta kuongelesha zile shida ako nazo. I think we'll talk about that when that time comes. But there are a lot of things that will show that a man is not okay. Number 1, atadetach na wewe, hatakuwa anaongea vile alikuwa anaongea. Akiwa kwa hiyo discussion hachangii. Kama alikuwa anakupigia simu anaacha. The words that he used to use, zile za kuonyesha everything is fine, nini hizo actions zote zina cease. So that is how a man becomes now stuck in that reality ya nimeachwa.
Yes, karibu sana Veronica. Jerry, we are talking about men and heartbreaks. So in my experience, the way I see the men in my circles, including myself, how I know somebody is going through especially a heartbreak, is number 1, iteke kwa mademi na ishaga. Like generally as a man, you have this mashoki na wagemefunguka kwa these other daughters of Jezebel. So if a beautiful thing passes, uangalie. It's not like you want to do anything, or it's just that you are just looking. But when a man has gone through heartbreak, anakogana this bitterness towards the other gender, anakogana hii anga fulani, all women now are guilty of the heartbreak. So all this going alikuwa nayo na madem, chatting, talking, laughing, unaona sana anaanza kuavoid like all women totally. Hataki stories za madem. Akisikia ni aji buda tunaenda hivi, anauza mnaenda na nani, akisikia jina za madem anasema tu mimi niko tu poa. Pia anaanza kuongea vibaya about madem. Hawa madem achana nao. Hawa madem hii kazi yao ni kutuuse. Hawa madem, he has this negative. Okay, kuna kogana ile negativity tu ya kawa. Ile yenye madem unajua kuishi nao. Then kuna ile madem ni useless. Madem sijui, so it's like overly over the top. So sasa unajua huyu jamaa hii ana hati yake iko in pieces. Pia kuna wale wenye of course venye umesema they withdraw from all these things. Kama alikuwa mswa kwenda kuwatch ball, hayuko around, like he's always busy doing nothing and kuji-isolate. He would rather sit in his house or watch series. Na alikuwa ni msemo mwenye ungempata mbele ya TV.
Very true.
And anytime mnasikiza ngoma, if any music comes in yenye namremind huyo dem, he just either atazima hiyo radio, whether akona control ya kuizima, kama ana control ya kuizima ana walk out. Like you just see some of these behaviors that shows this guy is going through a lot of stuff. So how
wanna self-isolate in a certain way. Paka you can tell. With men you can always tell. Hawezi ficha, anaweza nyamaza, but physically whatever he does utaiona tu kwa macho yake. Na kuna wale wengine hata wanaanza kuwa more into, kama kitambo alikuwa kikana dema kwanga anatembelea mabeshte, the reverse also happens. I isolate, but sasa anaanza kuwa more into au mabeshte zake sana. Bado unajua boss.
Yes. Hataki kuwa in his own company.
Yes.
So he wants to be around people he's overly engaged na vitu zenye like unashanga msee hii moral ako nayo ametoa wapi, because he's everywhere.
Yes.
You are like na hii everywhere yake haina mwelekeo. Men when they are doing something has a goal. So this is a person
Yes.
who is engaged without any goal. Ako tu bana saa kwenda mtaa inafika uko like kocha niende home. Unaenda home kudu, unaenda
Tukae
kukaa
tuone
kwa
ball.
nyumba. Well, let's just chill, we are having fun. Uko like I need to go home and relax bana.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that okay, how do men now like sasa start, how do they cope? I don't mean like how do they cope well, like what are these things they can do to cope well, like how do they cope na story ya heartbreak, how do they attempt to cope na heartbreak?
Watu wanakuanga na different ways coping skills zangu zinaweza kuwa different na za mtu mwingine. And number one, I've realized, and this is just about men. Men, the first thing they will do is to find a hookup. Like mtu neza kama ni dem tu definitely. Mwenye neza kuwa very close na yeye, sasa nianze kuangalia huyu neza share na yeye nini hivi. I would want to understand why my woman aliniacha ama nilimwacha, nini ili happen. So anakuwa hooked up na huyu dem to just forget about that lonely feeling yenye ako nayo. So itakuwa tu ni ile ataki hata kukua into a relationship, but anataka tu forget about the loneliness yenye ako nayo. Number two, he would want even to just show people that my ego bado iko pale juu. So the hookup becomes one of the ways men use to do what? To try and kuonyeshana cope up. Number two, the most stupid thing men do, they start proving a point to their ex. Utaniona ati ameenda Facebook, ameenda kuandika women are always good nini, but if you start doing this sasa anda kupruvia ule ni wewe ndio umemess, mimi bado niko poa. So anataka kuonyesha wasee, kuvuta wasee karibu, kuonyesha si mimi nilimess. In the end hakuona angoli yangu. And I'm not saying this because it is only men who go through the same. Even women. Umekosana naye kidogo, hata mjesema ati kama tumeachana, mmekosana tu, but utaenda kupata paragraph kwa social media. Haijataja jina yako. Haijataja hata jina yako, lakini kitu imeandikwa hapo. Watu wanauliza tu, kama ako safe kweli? So there this way someone wants to get back at you because ana feel break. Na yeye kwake anaona ni kama coping mechanism. I know there is this myth that men drink a lot to forget their problems. They do what to forget their problems. Hata siku hiyo forget their problem hata ikwangi hapo. This just anataka kufanya kitu hakufanya wakati alipo kwa relationship. Aone kama alimisi kitu at a certain stage ndo inamfanya anaingia kwa relationship wrong. So you end up going for tours, sijui ameenda wapi, anakunywa nini, anapiga hadi ma photoshoot. Like you do things that you've never done to just show that I'm back on my feet. So I know there are those that are very prevalent for men in different areas, but these are things I've seen, which some of these are just stupid. But it's a way this person feels I can cope up with, which is okay, it's accepted. But wewe usiaje fanya hiyo kifikiria, since we are cope nayo, this is the same mechanism that you can also use to cope up with your issue.
Yes. Karibu sana, right, na kuona umeingia. Veronica is also saying withdrawal, isolation, hating on the other gender. Alafu pia hooking up smells more. It is true. We have this thing. Now we want to prove that we can get better. Haujapata hata time ya process what has happened. And that's why now most men will go doing this hookups for no reason. He's just there to hook up. He will spend a lot of money to do a lot of nonsense. And he time ya heartbreak, you realize men waste a lot of money because now they want to prove something to themselves that aliniacha, it's her problem. And hiyo story umeongelea ya social media, this happens sana kwa those people whose relationship inakuaga on social media. Like
Yes.
sasa anything ukifanya na demu yako ama wife unaweka social media, oh the light of my life, my love, sijui nini. So now if you post something, then people know who you are posting for. But there are people who don't even know spouse wako ni mgani, and yeah, they might know you are married or you are in a relationship, but do not know with who or with what. So sometimes if you post things, people are like, huyu hizi vitu za kawaida. But if ukianza kuweka motivational speeches, especially mimi naangalia watu wa motivational, mtu akianza kupost vitu za motivational, anajua hapa kimeumana. God is in control. No weapons formed against me shall prosper.
It was never meant for you. If it was meant for you, it will come back.
Kianza kuwa na motivational speeches, unajua wa ma quotes za love, if a bird you have to set it free, if it comes back it is yours. Unajua huyu amewachwa, and then sasa ule mse mwenye akwaga anafanya vitu social media alikuwa tu like, so social media ilikuwa tu ya kukuja kuwatch, maybe ana comment once a week. Sasa every day ako pale selfies, namwona Mombasa, sijui Mombasa things kidogo na sijui ako mpaka unauliza say, when do you work, when kidogo I am sijui club gani, you are like, okay sawa, there is a problem here. And of course now kubadilisha madem, kuseti hata hook up na dem moja ati wa rebound, juu kuna ile ya rebound. So unatafuta dem ule alikuwaga anashindaga akika hapo kando for rebound, so that you get into a relationship to help you forget. But sasa huyu anabadilisha kama ngoza. Okay, sasa tumia ngoza juu I know some men ngoza wanavaga 1 week. So sijui tasema unabadilisha kama nini. So anawabadilisha mpaka uko like, brother, okay, wewe ulikuwaga upendi stories za madem, and stories zako za madem zilikuwaga tu za mutual things where we come, we chill. But now this now looks different because and Domi anaongea a very important point. It is easier when it is not you. A lot of these things, mambo ya heartbreak inakuwaga tricky because when somebody is experiencing it, you have a lot of solutions. When it is you see the world is ending. Hapa hakuna I cannot survive. Sasa zile vitu ulikuwa unapiga story huku that men do, wewe sasa ndio unaanza kuzifanya. And when ulikuwaga one person people can come to talk to because you understand these things. But when it is you, then it becomes a very big issue. So just to take the conversation forward, what are some of the ways that the ways that men can what are some of the things men can do ati vizi vitu mnasema sounds like dem ako in love, but kwani kuna difference? But there kunaga difference. You see the issue inakuaga women show it like they are more people who express hizo vitu, they want to walk holding hands, doing nini. But men we feel this myth that men don't love. Hakunaga kitu shenzi kama mwanaume yako in love, because we don't know how to process information. I know a lot of men will agree with me. Hakunaga mtu mshenzi kama mwanaume yako in love. He doesn't think, he does not reason, like you can't tell him anything. Ndio ule mtu mwenye now, especially those people who are clingy. Now you can't go to work, you can't talk to people. Anataka kutoe kwa nyumba, akudrive wala kona magari, akufikishe job, akukujie jioni, akutoe, usiongee na mtu. It is crazy out here. So Kolo,
Andre,
yes.
It is true what you're saying to some extent, because things have happened and watu later like it's like mimi tuseme na date mtu alafu nianza kusema huyu mtu anakuanga right, wewe mbona unampinga? Like anakuanga right hadi ile siku yeye mwenyewe ataturn against mimi, ndio sasa ndarudi kwa ule mwenye nilikuwa naambianga ati yenyewe alikuwa right kwa kai mwanzo ule msame ni udhi, sikuwa najua anakuanga hivi like hadi wewe sasa hiyo unajiuliza ni nini hiyo ilikuwa imekupush mpaka ni yeye pekee alikuwa the right one. You see, at the end of the day you don't have to lose your senses when you're with someone mwenye alikuja akakuwa part of your life. Like if I had a career to achieve, if my wife had a career to achieve, if we love each other, we get married, hata kwa church ama wapi, career yake ilistopia wapi? It should not. At the end of the day pia unafaa kuna mwencourage kuiachieve juu ikistop inamaanisha nao mmeingia kwa nini hai make sense, kwa sasa ni kama mmeacha kuishi, mumeingia kwa world yenye hai exist because you had goals, you had things you wanted to achieve but they no longer make sense. If they made sense when you were single, why do they lose sense when you're married? And that is where heartbreak inakuja because una realize aki una venye alinipenda nikajua tu world nimemaliza, wacha nirudi shule. Sasa ndio sasa nataka kurudi kwa ile career ama ile goal ulikuwa umeset before uingie kwa hii relationship. So it is very true what you're saying that those who lose it when they are in love or when they assume they are in love and then things turn again, then wanarudi tena reset factory.
Akunaga, okay, I always say this, it can't be a man's goal to be a husband, but it can be a woman's goal to be a wife, because kuna different issues, because a man has the burden of performance, a woman does not. A woman can choose to put the burden of performance on her, but still lazima. This is what people say. Women, children and dogs are loved for who they are. Women, children and dogs are loved for who they are. Men are loved for what they can do. So a man has the burden of performance. The woman does not. A woman can choose to have it, like me, I want to follow my career, I want to do all this, but it is not expected. It's not like a man. For a man, it is expected. It is hakuna option. For a woman, it is optional. And we can even say for a woman of today, it's becoming less and less optional. For a woman of today, it's becoming less and less optional because of the life tunaishi and the difficulties that we are going through. But mwanaume hana option. There are women today who don't know what work is, and they are very happy. Na wako tu sawa. There is a woman somewhere who just knows me. I'm just going to look for a person who has money, and I am sorted. Whatever he does, he does. Mimi natafuta tu mtu take care of me. Not even young girls, which mi sioni issue, but men. But men, you do not have an option. A man has to achieve, and you cannot make your wife or your girlfriend your goal. A man cannot make a woman his goal. A man needs to have bigger things he's chasing kwa maisha yake, and that is the thing that attracts women to him. Like if you chase women run away from you. If you chase your goal, women start chasing you. I think young men should understand that. Women want somebody who is focused, who has a goal, who has a vision for himself. You know, like huyu mtu ako focused. You know the way a man who is independent. Women love independent men. And that's why women of today are trying so hard also to be independent, forgetting that men don't love independent women. Men like women who depend on them. They don't like women who are independent. But then women don't want men who depend on them. They want independent men because they want to depend on men. So like you were saying, Kolo, and I agree. It is important that a man has a purpose to chase this purpose, because this is the purpose. Now, if your woman comes, she comes in to support you in your purpose, you know, to give you the bigger perspective and to expand your horizons in terms of the things that you might be missing. But now a woman chasing her career and you chasing your career, and then you have a family which is another career, then it becomes also a bit And that's why you see tuko na high divorce rates, because for example, if my woman's career has her going to work in Marsabit for 3 years, my career has me going to work in Dubai for 5 years, how are we married? How are we married? Like me niko Dubai for 5 years, ya kwa Marsabit for 3 years, then we come back, tunakaa together 2 months, then natoka, even sometimes after mpatani kwa nyumba, cause akiwa leave niko job, nikiwa leave ako job. Anyway, tutoke hapo. So like let's go back to history ya heartbreak. Pero you are right.
Yeah.
We are crazy when we are in love, and men do love, right? Kolo.
Yes. Kuna swali umeuliza ama nipende statement yangu?
Naangalia ya Vero. Hiyo mentality that you chase women, touch your friends kando yako will chase your woman. When your friends kando yako will oh yes, if my woman wants to be chased, wacha yeye akimbizwe. Because now we can't spend our life chasing after women. We have bigger things to do. And you know what? Kuna issue ya I have interest in you, so I'm going to woo you. Then there is this thing where my all my focus is on you. That's not me. That's not even a man's purpose. Because now if a man makes his purpose to chase you as a woman, you lose interest in that man. Let's be honest. Women, you know, sometimes women say things and then I read and I'm wondering, okay, how is this? How does it work? Because Kolo, and you will agree with me, the women you chased, like those ones you spend a lot of time chasing, you lost them. True or false?
Hiyo ni ukweli.
Yes. So it is not something to take from uko inje, because a woman has to come and akuuliza very simple questions. What are you doing with your life? Then you call like, sahi, you know, right now I'm looking for a girlfriend. Already hapo uko inje. Already uko inje, because now you can't make chasing her your purpose. Yes, of course you have to woo. Kuna difference ya wooing and seducing and chasing. Hatutashinda tukikimbizana.
This is what I wanted to say.
Yes, Kolo.
That is specifically where I wanted us to head. Like there is chase and the pursuing. Hizi mbili zinafaa zikuwe very, very different. Unaona, the reason as to why we end up in relationship that becomes tougher later is because we were chasing. And chasing, when you look at the definition of chasing, is to hurry after.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you're hurrying, but you need to hurry after either something or someone. So when you're hurrying, it means unataka kumchukua before mwingine amchukue. And that is being selfish. And when you do that, you end up with the wrong, either, okay, it could be a good thing that you are chasing or a wrong thing. But at the end of the day, you have to live with the consequences of chasing it and finding it. But now when you pursue, you have steps, you have thoughts, you have uko na kitu umepanga kwa kichwa chako, unajua huyu ni mtu najua atanisaidia, na it is not just agenda ya nimchukue mtu mwingine asimchukue. That is why right now you'll find out kuna, okay, I'm sorry to say, all ladies are beautiful provided umeolewa. There's beauty that the guy saw in you. But ukiangalia generation yetu ya saa hii, kila mtu anataka kuprove ni beautiful kuliko ule msichana mwingine. Specifically I'm saying this because nimeiona sana, like watu wana compete kuonyesha mimi ni brown kukuliko. So huyu anataka pia compete kwa mimi naweza pata chali mbele yako. So yeye akishapata chali na chali labda ako interested, si atapatia msichana mimba, na tena msichana arudi huku nyuma tena aone guy, nilikuwa na hari but I didn't know that this was not the right choice that I needed. This is not the person I needed. So you end up again sitting back towards the pursue. Why do you pursue after umechapwa coffee? It doesn't make sense. So I agree with Veronica akisema it is good for a man to chase, which is okay. But if you have a purpose as to why you need this person, that is very good. And that is what we advocate for. Follow mahali pia una purpose yako inaenda. Look for this lady that you know ata expand vision yako, na pia utamsaidia ku expand vision yake. But si tunamfuata juu unajua wanaume wengi wanamtaka. Then ukishamchukua umweke, shida zianze, utaanza kurudi kwa watu vile kama tulikuwa tunasema kwa skit. Ni wewe ndio ulinipeleka nikapeleka ng'ombe kwao. Ni wewe, so you start shifting the blame back to the people wenye walikuambia ule ndio unafanya yeye. So I
Yes.
think it is just okay for you to chase and end up with a good one or a wrong one. But please,
Yes.
as you're chasing, can you have your goals in mind? Can you have what you want to achieve with the heart? But isikuwe yeye ndo umempata ukajua
Yes.
nimefika, utamlisha, utamvisha,
Yes.
mtakaa pamoja. That is the thing.
If you get her, what next? Because
Yes.
if you are chasing umempata, what next? And then I take an example. Men are like the sun. It is planets that zinaendaga around the sun. It's not the sun that goes around planets. So what you have is what will keep your woman around you. Your vision, your purpose, your goal is what will be keeping your woman around you. Of course, kuna these things that they will need because they are emotional beings. Of course, attention, okay, affection, but that is not like you're not saying, like these people who say, I was put in this world to please you. And I ask them, are you stupid? Are you an idiot? You don't have bigger goals. Your goal is to please her. That is your beginning and your end. And mostly, and like Maroro has said, when you have a purpose, somebody who is that purpose will attract your woman. You won't go chasing, it will attract your woman. And then it becomes very easy to engage her in your project. It's like sasa, for example, wewe unataka kujenga nyumba, alafu unaenda unatafuta ule like now when you are building a house, of course what you will attract ni mafundi wa mawe, mafundi wa simiti, plumber. Those are the people you will attract. They will pass by, wakiona mjengo, they will come in and inquire, iko kazi, kuna vacancy hapa, you get.
Yes.
But you won't get drivers passing up wakiuliza job. You won't get this space scientist pale wakija kuuliza job because ni mjengo. So when you have a purpose, your women will come to you, and then now it's for you to choose. That's why even Maroro is saying, I just on so many women, I landed my wife so easy, hadi nikajiona fala, because she saw what you were doing, and that thing attracted her to you. So you had to do so little to convince her even to be with you and to stay with you. Now, let's yes.
Just an additional in the same. I think Maroro here anaongea exactly what hata mimi I went through. Unazunguka unapiga kona juu chini na mwenye anakufa ako tu kando yako hapo. Mnapiganga story, mna act, mnacheka, yani you look even foolish. At the end of the day unapata mwenye alikuwa amekaa kando yako hata umuonangi. Yeye anakuambia unajua mimi na wewe tulieko pamoja na tutakaa pamoja na mnaenda pamoja na mtakaa mpaka saa hii. Hadi unajiuliza wale wengine wote kwani shida yangu ilikuwa gani? It becomes another story. So it's very true. You will chase and then una chase tu hewa, but the person whom you're supposed to be pursuing ako tu hapa kando. And that is why sometimes wanasemanga hata kwa maombi, you want to pray to God to help you overcome challenges, and the neighbor who is just close to you hapa huwezi ukaomba asaidike ama huwezi ongea na yeye umsaidie. So why do you need to be helped by the living God mwenye hujaiona? The person whom you're seeing right here, huwezi mpatia hata siti hata alambe at least have quenched thirst. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, so now coming back to how we process heartbreaks, we have to now first of all come back to how we express love, or how we express affection. So how do men express their affection? Kuna ile ya I love you wako, then we have also we also have others. So how do men express affection?
Number one, I don't think men understand what love is.
Yes, we don't.
When you ask us, we will not even give you an answer because we don't even know. But you will find us using that word enye nakupenda more often. But to us it means you're not my enemy. Mimi nakupenda, I don't hate you. So I love you. But to your partner ama wewe mtu unajaribu kupursue, it is a very heavy word. Mimi kwangu inakaa normal tu juu tutaanza kulive na tutaanza kuonyesha venye nataka. Sadly, love is not enough to make a relationship last.
Yes.
It is not. And that is where men come in. We don't just need to tell you we love you. We do a lot of things to show you that we love you.
Yes.
Juu fairy tales ziko pale nje, mob fairy tales zimejaa. Unasweepiwa off your feet mpaka una feel on top of the world, but saa hii it is never the case. If you cannot sustain this person kwa maisha yako, hautatoboa. So our love, the way we show our love is, mimi kama Collins, when I was growing up, there was a way I would do things that would show the other person that I care. That is, to men, they will still extend the same to their women if that is a true man. Hata change kwa sababu amepata msichana mwenye alikuwa na pursue, because that is where many men go wrong. You start sending flowers and hujainunua in your life, so you end up even giving the wrong type of flower. Unapeleka ya mazichi badala
hata sijui bei ya maua,
unanunua ile ya mazishi ya round badala ya kupeleka hii. So you end up even spoiling it. So the thing is, let me show you the way I usually do it. So kama mimi kazi yangu inakuanga nikifeel siku ya Women's Day nafaa nikuleteka keki, wacha nikuletee hiyo keki. Me and my woman, and she, I know kwa mahali anasikiza, me used to go and buy chapati imekatakatwa kwa hoteli inako Juala hivi inafungwa, ndengu inafungwa na maharagwe zimeshikanishwa na sukuma, inako kwa namnunulia hivi, nampelekea kwa mahali anatoka, namwambia nimekuletea hii. Mimi nilikuwa najua hiyo ndo level yangu, na hiyo that's what I used to do, and she liked it. Up to date hadi ananiambianga nimemiss hizo vitu. Kuna siku hadi imechomeka, ndengu imechomeka, but nilinunua tu hivyo nikampeleka, alikula. So express it the way wewe unajua hivi ndo nafaa. But dem akikuja akikwambia mimi sitakangi hivi, nao atakwambia ufanye venye anataka, which to you want to be real. So I think one of the things is just be you, do what you think is supposed to be done at that time. Alafu pia mkumbushe ni wewe nilichagua, hata kama tutakosana, but mimi tu acha nikwambie kweli, acha kuniongelesha hivi, but mimi bado nakupenda. Wacha ajue from your side there are things that you don't like. For as much as tunamwambia nyamaza, ukimwambia kweli atajam, ni uzuri umwambie kweli ajam, but atajua next time hataongea hivyo. Some of them don't even know that what they are doing is probably putting your ego down, so just let them know. So number 3 and the last one, please pia appreciate. There are a lot of things that our women do in our lives and we don't see. The only way you can show them love, achana hata story ya kitanda is just a part of it, but wewe appreciate for the smallest thing anafanya, and you will see wonders. Mimi sikudanganyi. That is it for me.
Yes, so just when adding, I'll say men express affection by staying. You know, men are leavers. Men ni watu wa kuenda. Men ni watu wa kusonga. So by staying, that's number 1. Is your man staying? Your man around? Can you say you have a man? Like kwanza tu hapo. As a woman, can you say you have a man and really know and believe you have a man? You could not asemaga, oh, my man. Like I shared juicy on my Facebook is stop saying my man kama bado hajakuoa. That's not your man. Huyo ni mtu wa dunia. Wachana na yeye. Huyo ni mko wengi. If you're not married, don't say my man. Don't start calling your boyfriend my husband. No, wacha akuoe. Then now you can say my man. Is he really yours? Does he stay? Does he take care of his roles kwa nyumba? You know, watoto wanaenda shule, mnakula. Okay, do mnavaa. It doesn't mean ati lazima muvae the latest fashion or sijui, but mmeficha uchi. Venye Kolo umesema level yake, anaplay kwa level yake. Mahali penye unajua yenyewe hapa ndio yako. And also the way you have said, the fact that he acknowledges you as his woman. Because wanaume, we are not very expressive. There are men who are very expressive, who will write poems and everything. But there are those men, even if you hold a gun to their head, they will never say I love you. Hiyo word itoitoka kwa mdomo yao. And it does not mean ati akupendi. It's just that for him, those words are meaningless. They are empty. For him, it is about actions. Does he show it? Venye umesema
Yeah.
akipita huko akiona mutura, does he think about you? Ama
Yes.
anafinyaga mutura huko, anakuja kinuka nyama, alafu anakuja anawapatia 20 bob ya kwenda kununua sukuma. When anapita huko na anajua unapenda chocolate, does he want a while? Si kila siku, once in a while. Does he buy and come with anakwambia, hey, you know, and not even this presentation where anakuja ati surprise, nakuja tu anakupea kama tu kitu normal. Like nilikuwa napita huko nimekubaia chocolate and then he leaves. You know, like for example me, I don't know how to give presents or receive presents. Unajua kuna those people who have this thing where they know how to wrap it up and do the presentation and the surprise and even they have a message. Mi sijui. If I buy something, I just naipeana and I'm good. The thing, the most you can do is just say asante. That's it, I'm good. And then if you give me a present, the most I can do is say thank you. Like I don't have all these things where people say, oh, thank you very much, Aki, you are very considerate. Mi sinaga hizo speeches. So different men show differently. So now let's get into the last bit. How should men process heartbreaks? Do these things happen? It might happen, it will happen, it must happen.
Okay. Well, let me finalize on this kidogo kwa another thing about men showing love. Kiasi tu, when you introduce your woman to your family, and that is where I think Maroro ameongelea, amesema by what you do in terms of vitu zinatakikana kama mwanaume, umeenda introduction kwao. That is, you don't need to tell her again, cheki, unaona sana kupenda. Don't ascertain it, don't affirm. But the fact that umetake initiative ukabebana na jeshi, mukaenda huko, it's a very big show of love. Now coming to this one about how men can deal with this. Number one, I think as men, we need to admit when we are not fine. That is the first step that we need to move on. We need to admit that we are hurting. Relationships, manze, si perfect for kila mtu. Let go of that sadness. Hata kama hujai kubali, but wacha useme uone, it happened and I've accepted that I'm not okay. I just need to be okay. My friend, una feel nini naweza nikadu? Admitting makes your heart become lighter. It makes your mind start thinking on how you can cope with this situation, and then stop thinking that it will happen in a day. Atutamka kesho alafu useme niliachwa, nime overcome. Boss, hiki kitu nalipukanga after another 1 month ndo najua kumbe niko nje. Number 2, stop blaming yourself. At the end of the day, for as much as you're going to admit that I'm not okay, don't blame yourself. Crush that negative impulse as soon as you can. Crush it. If you're always thinking, I was too clingy, nilikuwa nimemshikilia, I was too sensitive, ukianza kujiquestion hizo vitu manze, zitakuumiza. Sema tu, this is a journey. This is something that I have to learn. That is another thing. You need to take this as a lesson. Now, once you don't learn as a lesson, kwa hiyo kitu imekuhapenia, it will still happen again and you'll wonder, guy, kwani tena nilidhani nimeangukia, tena nimeangukiwa. You will never ever see why you went wrong, where you went wrong, and what you could have done to save the situation if you don't learn from it. Number 4, alafu 5 ya mwisho, please, kama umeachana na mtu wako, mblock. That is a very bad advice. That is a very bad advice. If umeachana na ex wako, si umblock. Do it the right way. Umetoka. Do it the right way. Mwambie sasa, sitakuwa nakwambia good night venye ilikuwa, hata usikujange kwetu, lakini wewe ni bado ulikofa. Like, can you do it the right way? But achana na yeye. Shida ya wanaume, ukishakosana na your current now, unasikia wamerudiana na ex. Mlikuwa mnaduni tena na ex. It doesn't make sense. And men need to learn this. You're even confusing your mental health. You're trying to cope up with situations. Then once you're done, you're coming back again. My friend, hii kitu itakumaliza. Last but not least, please don't do it alone. Wakati una go through something, wakati unataka cope up nini, usikae chini useme I will go through it peke yangu. No. Can you seek for a support system? Men lack
Yes.
support system. Hapo ndo mali mademu ametushinda. We don't have a support system. Support system si lazima ikuwe therapeutical, mnakaa chini kwa sako mnasema my name is Collins and I am a drug lord. No.
Mm.
Ule bishi yako tu mwenye anapendanga kukujulia hali, ule wa kwanza ule, can you find some time tu mwambie enyewe kuko hivi na I feel like niko chini, let it out, hata kama hata kupatia solution. I think support system is something that we need, and in this way I think we will reduce the number of hata suicide nini zenye zimehappen. Of late guys have still been killing themselves and we
Yes.
wonder kunaenda aje, even with the economy that we have ni kubaya, because just like Maroro has said, you are commissioned to give, you're commissioned to make sure that you supply this. So ikifika mahali hadi umewachwa na sasa hata job sasa hata uendi juu men wakishawa hatubrekiwa, hata kazi ataanza kukuwa unproductive, na hivyo ndo
Yes.
unavutwa job because you don't talk about it, it affects you. So generally that is what I would say. Admit that you're not okay, seek for support, write down those feelings that you're having, block your ex, achana na yeye kabisa, and then last but not least, don't blame yourself.
So I think one thing one advice I can tell men is don't date where you work. Or don't marry mtu kwa ile workplace yenye uko, because you know how do you block a workmate? It becomes difficult when now, because honestly, when you are processing a heartbreak, as men, we really don't want to see this woman.
Yes,
We are in
yes.
so much pain, we don't want to see her, we don't want to know anything about her. But now imagine you are working together. You have to see her everyday job. And sasa mnajua mkiwa job, that's a very different relationship. You can't like go and ignore her because you are workmates. Mkifika kwa job, that's a whole different environment and expectation. And you know, women, venye Steve amesema, they are very complicated. That is the time now your ex will start having affairs with other workmates in the same place. Now you are being exposed to double hurt, because even the woman is hurting, and the way she's expressing her hurt is by wanting to hurt you more. So men block, she can't message you, but you still have to see her every day ukiwa job. That's why you see men quit work, wana quit job, and then you wonder, hey, msana vile alikuwa na job, why did he quit? It's because alioa kwa kazi, so now he can't process like yeye ako no, Domi, let's be honest. Unasema you don't choose where or who to fall in love with. You have to be logical in your choice. As men, we have to be logical in our choice, because number one, when mko kwa the same workplace and your wife, then there are things she will be doing that will put you will just cause friction between the two of you. Unajua kuna watu wanasemaga mi bwana yangu tukiwa kazi si bwana yangu, but honestly kuna hug zingine atakuwa anapeana, ama wewe kuna mtu utakuwa, for example, unaongeaga naye sana, ukifika nyumbani unaenda kujiexplain. You know, sometimes you have to be logical. I know sometimes feelings huwa zina take over, but then okay, umefall in love na mtu uko naye job, mmekosana, what now, what next? Because it will end. Ama mumeoana, what next? Because at the end of the day and I want to talk about history ya kufall in love. Hapo ndo mali watu huanguka. Wacha mademu wa fall in love. Wanaume wewe hufai kufall in love. Wacha demu fall in love. Wewe mwanaume hufai kufall in love. Because hii kufall in love ndio inaletaga maneno. Because now you don't think. You don't process things. Utasikia labda bibi yako ni personal assistant wa mdosi na wanaenda Mombasa, and the way you know your boss, bibi yako aendi ati kufanya anything na mdosi, but the way you know your boss and the way he choose women kwa hiyo job, but wife yako lazima ende Mombasa na yako ni personal assistant wake, what happens? Afadhali kama ako kazi mahali kwingine na uko place, uko job place kwingine, so you don't know even the work dynamics ya job yao. So yes, there are those people who are unfortunate to get a wife or fall in love kwa job. You are very unfortunate. I feel for you. Aki nawaombea sana. Because I know you are going through a lot as men. But also hiyo ni mwiba wa kujitakia. Anyway, and that's why Veronica is saying thank you Domi hapa, because yeye ako kwa hii WhatsApp group. Anyway, tukisonga. Iko hivi. Like what I can just say, that is something you can avoid. If you can avoid it. It's not the best. And how do we encourage men and women not to have relationships kwa job? Is by having a social life. Don't make your job your social life. That sasa huko ndio utakuwa una date, huko ndio utakuwa unakula, huko ndio utakuwa unalala. Hapo ni kazi. Unaweza amka kesho umefutwa job. Don't make workplace your everything. So venye Kolo umesema block this person, for me that one helped me a lot wakati nilikuwa na date. I block you. Hata gari za kwenda huko kwenyu na sahau. I don't even want to see those vehicles. Yani nakasirika mpaka na magari za kwenda route ya kwenyu. Sasa hata kupita kwa hiyo stage. I block you everywhere, kwa simu, kwa social media, everywhere. And then I just force myself to forget you. I know within 3 months, I will start, I can start passing through hapo kwa hiyo stage ya when just because you can't avoid all these things kabisa. But at least I've given myself time to disassociate. And men need that. Don't stalk your ex. Sasa wewe akipost kitu, kwa nini unapost? Yaani sasa unapost ndio niumie. Labda asha move on, wewe bado ndio uko hapo. And don't do things ndio zimfikie. Ati wacha ni posti juu najua na ni follow aone. Cause now akikosa kuona itakuuma tena.
It's even worse, yeah.
Sasa ulipost ndio aone, then hajaona, hajarespond, na unamuona online na unangoja aone. And that's inakuuma times 2. So you are going through heartbreak and you're still hurting yourself more. Block. Hata mtu akikuja kukupigia story, alafu venye umesema tell your friends. Because sometimes when you are in a relationship, you share friends. And you might be doing something and then the friend has invited your ex. Na juu hajui ye ni ex. Just tell your friends, you dem tulikosana. So if you know you are bringing her to a function mahali niko, please niambie ni choose kukuja ama kosa kukuja. Because it is awkward when you've been invited somewhere and you have shown up and then now you have to spend these 2-3 hours with this ex that at this moment you really hate. Siseme tunamchukia ile for real. At this moment you really hate her. So you don't want to see her. But now you have to spend these 3 hours seeing her and pretending everything is okay. So you get unatoka kumuumia times 10. So tell your friends, allow me not to come around her. Domi, yes, people separate, but it takes time before you can now come back and deal with those feelings. Because those feelings are deep. It takes time. You have to have time to be separate.
Yeah.
You can't be having an ex na bado mna communicate na bado mnaitana ex na mme break up tu juzi. Hapo hiyo ni let's say hizo ni hekaya za abunuwasi. You have to separate yourself. And you see these people who are very mature and everything, if you really ask them, they will tell you we spend years without even talking.
Yeah.
And then now you really get over them. Like now it's like this is part of my life. And now we can, if you meet, now you talk, you even start making fun of your relationship. The things you never used to tell one another juu bado mlikuwa mnapendana, mnaogopana. Now that's when unaanza kumwambia unajua venye ulikuwa na miguu zinanuka wewe. Ukajua venye hizo miguu zako zilikuwa zinanibu. And they can't catch feelings. They just start laughing because now hakuna feelings. Hakuna feelings.
Domi anasema hapo chini, if bado uko na makasiriko na yeye plus gari zao, that means bado uja move on. Exactly. Wacha hata kufuata life yao. Si ako na life yake. Now you start concentrating with your own. That is why blocking does not mean you become enemies. It means you're giving each other space for people to continue with their own lives. And that is very, very well, that is accepted. It's very fine.
Yes, it is okay. You have to accept where you are. You have to accept the anger. You have to accept the disappointment. You have to accept the blame. You know, all that process ni cycle. Your brain, your emotions, your psychological well-being go through a process. You have to don't block. If you are angry na gari za huruma because ni mwako alikuwa huruma, accept that you are angry. And then also know why you are angry, because your gari likukosa. It is where it is going, and you remember the whole kona ipando kienda kutafuta mtu. It is okay to be angry until that anger passes. Then you get into the now you start grieving, because now I gave this woman so much. Now it's no longer anger. You are now like just pain. Like I gave her everything, even the ameona. Then the pain passes, and then now inaingia kwa blame game. Unaanza kumblame you dem aliniangalia akanidharau, ama I blame myself for doing ABC. It will go in your process yote till now uko indifferent. Once you know may get over anyone, it's because now you are indifferent. Like you don't care if they live, if they die, if they are happy, if they are sad. You are indifferent. See that you are hate. Hate is also part the other side of love. If you hate someone, it's because but you have feelings. But when you are indifferent, it's like, yeah, that's why now you can meet the ex and you can have very funny conversations, and then you just go home like you just met a stranger and you feel absolutely nothing. So men do go through heartbreaks, and as we have shown you, it is Veronica unasema find it hard to men find it funny vile men find it hard to share shida wakiteseka, but hawaogope hivi ya kuongea kwa mtaro wakiwa walevi ama kushuka kwa barabara. Probably the reason why these men are doing all these things is because they are going through all these things tunasema. Men are very particular about their image. So if you see a man who is mpaka analala kwa mtaro ama anaenda kishot kwa barabara akifanya vitu weird, that man is going through a lot. That is a case of very bad mental health. Mental health yake iko mahali mbaya. So you have to see that thing is just a symptom of what he's going through. And probably most of the men you see who do this are either men who are in relationships or men who are married. Because mwanaume tu ako single tu hivi, huwezi muona na hizi tabia. Because hizi tabia zinachoma picha. Anajaribu kutafuta mtu, atatafutaje mtu kama anaanguka kwa nini kwa mtaro? Atatafutaje mtu kama anaenda kishoti kwa barabara? Ni ule mtu mwenye alikuwa anakatia akimuona akipita akishauti. But married men who wamefika mwisho, wale wenye they can't live, they can't stay, those are the men who you see having all these weird things. Anyway, Kolo, your final statements?
My final statement is going to be pegged on what a friend of mine hapa anaitwa Otieno Rambo just said wakati tulikuwa tunaendelea na discussion. Anasema chasing, hurrying before she vanishes, blindfolded, really affecting the priorities. We as men need to spearhead. That is very true. There is life outside love. There is life. Love sio kila kitu. You might have set aside all the beauty of life just because you are chasing love. And I'm not denying the importance of love, but chasing at the expense of life will leave us clueless. And this goes to all men. Itatuacha without any clue. Never ever be desperately searching for love to make your life complete. First, you live your life continuously. Love comes to you on its own, and it makes even your life more complete. And we all know that wanasemanga every cloud has a silver lining. Breakup is not an exception too. Hata Steve Jobs alisema you cannot connect the dots by seeing forward. Dots ukiweka unako mbele na backing plain. Dots ziko nyuma. So you can only connect dots by seeing backwards. So trust in life's timing. Just trust in your time in your life. You'll surely find answers for all those predicaments in your life. All you have to do is just wait with hope to find answers to your problems. Problems zilikufanya mka break up. Pole pole zitakuja. And that is all I can say.
So for my final comments is everything ends. That relationship ended. As a man, the pain you're feeling right now because you've been left will also end. Everything ends. So don't go overboard in your you are trying to end the pain. You have to go through the process. It will end eventually.
Yeah.
Some take time, some wengine huwa inaenda haraka. Some people it takes a lot of time depending na where you are in your relationship and how invested you are. So give yourself time, give yourself space, feel everything that you feel because it is part of life. Pain is painful. Pain is so beautiful because it teaches. If you ask a man, when was your happiest moment? Most men are conflicted. But if you ask them, what was your most painful experience? He doesn't even have to think twice. He will tell you because that thing teaches you. And then you ask them, what did you learn from the pain? They will tell you the lessons they got from that pain. So take the pain and then learn from it so that even though your next relationship might also end, and it is okay because you are growing, you are moving. So just the few comments. Marona anasema story ya X inafaa iongelewe vizuri. Let's not assume these are the same all the way. True. If love starts with loving you, love yourself and spare your life. Love is not limited. You get another love. And also, the way Kolo amesema, have something outside of this love that you are doing. Have something bigger with your life. For example, if you are married and you are divorced, you have children that you need to be taken care of. You have other things that you need to be sorting. If you are just in a relationship, hizi mwitu za mtaa, it will end. You maybe you are a stepping stone man. Unajua saa ingine wanaume tunajiwekaga mbele sana. Na wewe ulikuwa tu hapo ukihold hiyo space before a better man comes. Hiyo dem hakuwa serious na wewe. So just accept I was a stepping stone. I'm a step ameenda better, but ni sawa. Now tomorrow you will know the signs. Dem kama when is stepping stone, you will see the signs and you will refuse to be a stepping stone. So learn, jifunze, and with that, Kolo, anything to add before tusonge?
I've just seen what Justin has written here, like story X inafaa iongelewe vizuri. I think this is something, as we continue with our discussions in the next forums, these are things that they can broadly be discussed so that we can at least help out. Hata yeye Justin anaweza katujoin kwa call, akuwe part of this, anaweza katusaidia so that we can at least talk about this. What impact does the X leave in your life, or are they still important in your life? Or vitu kama hizo, because we are talking about progress. Life has to progress. Vitu lazima ziendelee. So these are things we can also look at, and thanks for saying that.
Yes, it's true. Alafu, we are a product of our past. The man today, you are the man today because of your exes. They taught you. The kind of husband you are, you're that kind of husband because of your exes, because they taught you how to be a better in relationships. So the better man you are, alikushape. Unajua wanasemaga lazima ipigwe sandpaper. Na sandpaper ni rough. Sandpaper ni rough. Ndio ikuwe hivyo smooth, lazima ipigwe sandpaper na kitu rough. So alikuchapa ukanyooka venye umenyooka. So now your wife is enjoying the fruits of your exes. For lack of a better word. Your wife is enjoying the fruits of your exes. So now, thank you very much, everybody who joined. And Baroro, next Sunday useme kama unataka kukuja tuongelee mambo ya hii story za exes. Because now you see, I and Kolo, I think leo majority of the people who are on are married. I don't know about huyu besti ya Kolo, but all the people naona hapa, all of them are married. So, but I know he has stories. I know he has stories. So even all of us, even Steve Owaga, huku sisi wote ni watu tuko na nyumba. So now we can sit down and talk about our experiences with the exes, because hakuna mtu anakuwaga married akihope bibi yake atakuwa ex. All of us get married hoping to do this thing until we die.
96 years
and it's
old.
Unfortunate, some of us katikati ya barabara it ends. It is still part of life, but I know all of us hapa wale wenye tuko hapa bado tuko kwa hii journey, and we have enough stories about our exes. Sasa shida inakujaga mali nao mnapiga stories za ex, and then your significant others now it start, lakini sisi tutaongea, we shall talk. Si tuliambiwa tuongee kama wanaume, we shall talk, then we will solve hizi vitu zingine. Asanteni sana, asanti Kolo. I hope job inaendelea poa, I hope mko safe, huku tuko sawa, and Ambia watu kwa heri tukisonga.
Kwaherini, and thanks to Veronica, she's the only standing lady in this discussion yote, so big up to you.
Asante sana Vero, asante sana Maroro, asante sana Domi. Domi pia ako amekuwa akijoin for long. Karibuni sana.
Anasema msichana.
Yes. No, nasema pia Domi in terms ya the people who have been consistent. Domi has also been consistent. I know Maroro now alianza kujoin currently, but ako sawa because I'm seeing him pia. Let's make this thing, because this thing will be happening every Sunday at 9. So and also Veronica has been very instrumental in suggesting topics. I see even Maroro now is saying we need to talk about Suizama exes. So that will be our next topic. So let us meet next Sunday 9 to 10 on Sunday live chat Unscripted. Kwaherini sana. God bless you. Have a beautiful week.
Good night.